St. Louis, Missouri is one of the most haunted cities in the United States. With its long history, old mansions, historic hotels, and eerie cemeteries, the city is full of ghost stories and paranormal activity. Visitors report shadowy figures, strange noises, and cold spots in theaters, museums, and historic buildings. From haunted parks to abandoned sites, St. Louis is a hub for ghost hunters and thrill seekers who want to explore its mysterious and spooky past. Now we will visit the most haunted places in St. Louis. Number 1. Lemp Mansion. Lemp Mansion in St. Louis, Missouri is one of the most haunted places in the city. It was once home to the wealthy Lemp family, owners of the famous Lemp Brewery. The mansion has a long and tragic history. Several members of the family died under mysterious or sad circumstances, and many believe their spirits still linger in the mansion today. Visitors and staff report many strange and scary experiences. Some say they feel sudden cold spots in certain rooms, while others hear footsteps walking through empty hallways. Doors are often reported to open and close by themselves. Shadowy figures have been seen roaming the halls, and some guests claim to hear whispers and voices coming from empty rooms. One of the most famous stories is about a family member who died tragically upstairs, and her spirit is said to appear in a long, dark hallway wearing a white dress. The mansion is now a restaurant and inn, but its dark hallways, antique furniture, and historic decor make it feel eerie even during the day. Paranormal investigators often visit to study the mansion's strange activity, and many ghost tour companies include it as a top haunted destination in St. Louis. Because of its tragic history, ghost sightings, and mysterious sounds, Lemp Mansion attracts thrill seekers, history lovers, and anyone fascinated by the supernatural. It is considered a must-visit place for those who want to experience true haunted history in St. Louis. Number 2. Calvary Cemetery. Calvary Cemetery in St. Louis, Missouri is one of the city's oldest and most haunted burial grounds. Established in 1854, it is a large Catholic cemetery filled with historic gravestones, statues, and monuments. Many people believe the spirits of those buried here still linger, and the cemetery has a long history of eerie and unexplained events. Visitors often report strange experiences while walking through the cemetery. Some have seen shadowy figures moving between the tombstones at night, while others hear footsteps on empty paths. There are stories of ghostly apparitions appearing near old mausoleums, sometimes standing silently as if watching those who pass by. A few visitors have even reported hearing soft whispering voices calling their names when no one is around. One famous tale tells of a man who comes to visit the grave of his wife every night. People have seen a tall shadow near the grave, and some say it is his spirit continuing to mourn. Another story involves a child's ghost, often spotted playing near the older family plots. Visitors describe seeing small movements or hearing laughter where no living child is present. Calvary Cemetery's quiet, misty mornings and dimly lit evenings add to its spooky atmosphere. Its combination of historic graves, tragic pasts, and ghostly sightings makes it a top destination for paranormal enthusiasts. Many ghost tours of St. Louis include Calvary Cemetery as a must-visit haunted spot, giving visitors a chilling glimpse into the spirits that are said to remain here. Number 3. Basilica of St. Louis, King of France. The Basilica of St. Louis, King of France, also known as the Old Cathedral, is one of the oldest churches in St. Louis, Missouri, and is often regarded as haunted. Built in the 1700s, this historic cathedral has witnessed centuries of history, including births, deaths, and religious ceremonies. Many believe that the energy of the past lingers, giving rise to strange and unexplained events. Visitors and staff have reported unusual occurrences inside the cathedral. Some claim to see shadowy figures moving near the altar or along the aisles when no one else is present. Others feel sudden cold drafts in certain corners, even on warm days. There are also stories of flickering lights, objects moving without explanation, and distant, echoing footsteps in empty halls. One popular tale tells of a monk who died in the church many years ago. Some visitors report seeing a shadowy figure in a dark robe walking silently through the nave, vanishing when approached. Another story involves the sound of ghostly singing during late night hours when the cathedral is closed, as if invisible choirs are still practicing hymns. Some visitors claim to feel an unseen presence standing behind them while they pray, only to find no one there. The old cathedral's ancient architecture, quiet corridors, and long history create a naturally eerie atmosphere. Its combination of ghost sightings, mysterious sounds, and centuries of sacred history makes it a favorite location for paranormal enthusiasts and ghost tour visitors exploring haunted St. Louis. Number 4. Missouri History Museum. The Missouri History Museum in St. Louis, Missouri, is a historic building that many believe is haunted. Established in 1866, it has preserved the city's history for over a century. With its old architecture, large halls, and antique exhibits, the museum is not only a place of learning, but also a site where visitors and staff have reported strange and unexplained occurrences. Many people who visit the museum have felt odd sensations, such as sudden cold spots in certain rooms or hallways where no air conditioning or vents are present. Some staff members have reported hearing footsteps echoing in empty galleries, even late at night after the museum is closed. Others have seen shadowy figures moving among the displays or felt the presence of someone standing behind them when no one is there. One famous story involves a Civil War exhibit. Visitors say that at night, they have seen a soldier's figure appear near the artifacts, sometimes standing silently or walking through walls. Another story is tied to the museum's old administrative offices, where lights sometimes flicker and doors open and close on their own. Some guests even report hearing soft whispers near exhibits, as if the spirits of the past are trying to tell their stories. The Missouri History Museum's combination of historic artifacts, old architecture, and centuries of history creates a naturally eerie atmosphere. These ghost sightings and mysterious occurrences make it a top location for paranormal enthusiasts exploring the haunted history of St. Louis. Number 5. Fox Theater. The Fox Theater in St. Louis, Missouri is one of the city's most famous and haunted theaters. Built in 1929, this historic theater has hosted countless performances, from plays and concerts to movies. Its grand architecture, ornate interiors, and long history make it not only a cultural landmark, but also a hotspot for ghost stories and paranormal activity. Many visitors and staff have reported strange and unexplained occurrences inside the theater. Some hear footsteps in empty hallways, doors opening or closing on their own, or whispers when no one else is around. Others have seen shadowy figures walking along the balconies or in backstage areas. The eerie feeling of being watched is also a common experience for performers and employees working late. One famous tale is about a ghostly figure named George. Staff have reported seeing him in a vintage uniform, silently guiding people down the aisles or vanishing into walls. Another story tells of mysterious laughter and clapping heard in the main auditorium when the theater is empty. Some performers claim to have felt an unseen presence behind the curtains during rehearsals, as if a former actor or patron is still lingering in the space. The Fox Theater's combination of historic design, backstage corridors, and decades of performances creates a naturally spooky atmosphere. Its unique ghost sightings, unexplained noises, and eerie experiences make it a must-visit for anyone interested in haunted locations and the paranormal in St. Louis. Number 6. Central Library. The Central Library of the St. Louis Public Library System is a grand and historic building in downtown St. Louis, Missouri. Opened in 1912, the library has served generations of readers, students, and researchers. With its tall marble staircases, quiet reading rooms, and old stacks filled with books, many believe the building holds more than just history. It also holds spirits from the past. Library staff and late-night security guards have reported strange activity after closing hours. Some hear footsteps echoing through empty hallways, while others see lights turning on in rooms that should be dark. Books have been found moved or knocked from shelves with no explanation. Visitors also described sudden cold spots, especially near older sections of the building. One well-known story involves a ghostly figure believed to be a former librarian. People have seen a shadowy woman standing near the reference desks or walking between shelves, only to disappear when approached. Another story tells of a quiet whispering sound, as if someone is softly reading aloud, even when no one else is present. Security guards have also reported doors opening by themselves and elevator buttons being pressed without anyone inside. The Central Library's peaceful silence, historic design, and long past create an eerie atmosphere. These unexplained events and ghostly encounters make it one of the most haunted libraries in St. Louis, drawing the attention of paranormal investigators and ghost tour visitors alike. Number 7. Union Station Hotel. Union Station Hotel in St. Louis, Missouri is a grand historic landmark that many believe is haunted. Originally opened in 1894 as one of the busiest train stations in the world, it later became a luxury hotel. Over the years, millions of travelers passed through its halls, including soldiers, families, and workers. Many believe the strong emotions of farewell, loss, and hope left behind restless spirits. Hotel guests and staff have reported strange and unsettling experiences. Some guests wake up in the middle of the night to hear luggage rolling across the floor when no one is in the hallway. Others report knocking sounds on their doors, only to find no one there. Sudden cold air is often felt in certain rooms, even when the heating system is working normally. One well-known story involves a ghostly woman dressed in old-fashioned travel clothing. She is often seen near the grand lobby or staircases, appearing lost and confused, as if waiting for a train that never arrives. Another story tells of phantom train sounds, whistles, announcements, and distant rumbling, heard late at night despite no trains running through the building. Some staff members have also reported elevators stopping on floors without being called and lights flickering in empty corridors. The building's long hallways, high ceilings, and historic architecture add to its eerie feeling. With its emotional history, unexplained sounds, and ghostly sightings, Union Station Hotel remains one of the most haunted and mysterious locations in St. Louis, attracting both curious visitors and paranormal investigators. Number 8. Bissell Mansion. The Bissell Mansion in St. Louis, Missouri, is a beautiful historic home that many believe is deeply haunted. Built in the late 1800s, the mansion once belonged to the Bissell family, who were wealthy and influential. Over the years, the house has witnessed illness, loss, and emotional suffering, which many believe left behind restless spirits that still roam the building today. Visitors and staff have reported strange activity throughout the mansion. Some people feel sudden pressure on their chest while standing in certain rooms, while others experience dizziness or a strong sense of sadness. Unexplained knocking sounds are often heard on walls, even when no one is nearby. Guests staying overnight have reported blankets being gently pulled while they sleep. One well-known story involves a ghost believed to be a former family member who appears in a bedroom near the front of the house. Witnesses describe seeing a faint figure sitting quietly on the bed before slowly fading away. Another story tells of a shadow figure standing at the top of the staircase, watching silently before disappearing when approached. There are also reports of music softly playing from nowhere, especially late at night, as if someone is reliving a memory from the past. Some guests claim to hear quiet crying coming from behind closed doors. The Bissell Mansion's antique furniture, dim lighting, and long history create a heavy and eerie atmosphere. These unique experiences have made it one of the most talked about haunted mansions in St. Louis, drawing both ghost hunters and curious visitors. Number 9. Washington Square Park. Washington Square Park in St. Louis, Missouri may look peaceful during the day, but many believe it is one of the city's most haunted outdoor spaces. Located in downtown St. Louis, the park sits on land that was once used as a burial ground in the 1800s. Many graves were never properly moved, and people believe the spirits of the dead still remain beneath the park. Visitors often report strange feelings while walking through the park, especially at dusk or late at night. Some feel sudden cold breezes even on warm evenings, while others describe a heavy, uncomfortable pressure in the air. Shadowy figures are sometimes seen near the trees or walking along the paths, only to vanish seconds later. One chilling story involves the sound of digging coming from the ground late at night. Witnesses say they hear scratching or shoveling noises, as if something beneath the earth is trying to escape. Another story tells of ghostly figures appearing near park benches, sitting silently before fading away. Some people have also reported seeing glowing shapes near the grass moving slowly across the park. There are reports of dogs refusing to enter certain areas of the park, barking or pulling away as if sensing something unseen. Nearby office workers claim they hear whispering voices when the park is nearly empty. The quiet setting, dark corners, and disturbing history of Washington Square Park give it a strong, eerie presence. These unique and unsettling experiences have made it one of the most haunted parks in St. Louis, often included in local ghost stories and paranormal tours. Number 10. The Campbell House Museum. The Campbell House Museum in St. Louis, Missouri is a well-preserved 19th century home that many believe is haunted. Built in the 1850s, it once belonged to the Campbell family, who lived there for decades. Because the house remained occupied for so long and still contains original furniture and belongings, many believe the spirits of former residents never truly left. Museum staff and visitors have reported strange activity, especially during quiet hours. Some people feel sudden cold chills while standing in certain rooms, while others experience headaches or a heavy feeling in their chest. Doors have been known to open slowly on their own, and footsteps are often heard upstairs even when no one is there. One well-known story involves a ghostly woman believed to be a former servant. She is often seen near the kitchen area, appearing busy with her work before disappearing. Another story tells of a man's shadow standing near the study as if watching over the house. Visitors say the shadow vanishes when lights are turned on. There are also reports of objects moving without explanation. Chairs have been found slightly shifted, and small personal items appear in places where they were not left. Some guests claim to smell old perfume or tobacco smoke suddenly, even though no one nearby uses them. The Campbell House Museum's quiet rooms, antique decor, and preserved history create a strong, eerie atmosphere. These unique and unsettling experiences have made it one of the most haunted historic homes in St. Louis, attracting paranormal investigators and curious visitors alike. Number 11. The Chase Park Plaza Hotel. The Chase Park Plaza Hotel, now known as the Royal Sonesta St. Louis, is one of the most famous and historic hotels in St. Louis, Missouri. Opened in the 1920s, the hotel has hosted movie stars, musicians, politicians, and wealthy guests for many decades. With its elegant design and long history, many believe the hotel is home to restless spirits from the past. Guests and hotel staff have reported many strange experiences over the years. Some guests say they hear knocking on their doors late at night, but when they open the door, no one is there. Others report the sound of footsteps pacing above their rooms, even when the upper floors are empty. Sudden cold spots are also common in certain hallways. One well-known story involves a ghostly man dressed in old-fashioned formal clothing. He is often seen near the ballroom or elevators, appearing briefly before fading away. Another story tells of a woman's laughter echoing through the corridors late at night, especially near the older guest rooms. No source of the laughter is ever found. Hotel staff have also reported elevators stopping on floors without being called and lights flickering in empty rooms. Some guests claim to wake up feeling as though someone was sitting at the edge of their bed. The Chase Park Plaza's luxury, history, and mysterious activity give it an eerie charm. These unique hauntings have made it one of the most talked about haunted hotels in St. Louis, drawing both curious travelers and paranormal enthusiasts. Number 12. Layman House. The Layman House in St. Louis, Missouri is a historic home that many believe is deeply haunted. Built in the late 1800s, the house was once owned by the Layman family, who were known for their wealth and influence in the city. Over time, the house witnessed illness, loss, and emotional hardship, which many believe caused spirits to remain behind. Visitors and residents have reported strange activity inside the house. Some people experience sudden cold chills while standing in certain rooms, while others feel uneasy or watched. Unexplained tapping sounds are often heard on walls or windows late at night. Doors sometimes open slowly on their own, even when they were firmly closed. One well-known story involves a ghostly woman seen near the upstairs bedroom. Witnesses describe her wearing long, old-fashioned clothing and standing quietly by the window, staring outside. When someone approaches, she slowly fades away. Another story tells of a child's presence in the house. Soft footsteps, gentle laughter, and small handprints appearing on dusty surfaces have been reported. There are also reports of lights flickering without reason and objects being moved from their original places. Some visitors say they smell old perfume or candle wax suddenly, even though no such items are nearby. A few guests claim they have felt a light touch on their shoulder when no one else was in the room. The Layman House antique furniture, narrow staircases, and long history create a heavy and eerie atmosphere. These unique and unsettling stories have made it one of the most haunted historic homes in St. Louis, drawing interest from paranormal investigators and ghost story lovers alike. Number 13. Lafayette Square Neighborhood. The Lafayette Square neighborhood in St. Louis, Missouri is known for its beautiful Victorian houses and historic charm. Built in the late 1800s, many of these homes survived fires, wars, and major changes in the city. Behind their elegant exteriors, residents and visitors believe some houses are haunted by spirits from the past who never truly left their homes. People living in the neighborhood have reported strange activity inside their houses. Some hear footsteps walking up staircases at night, even when everyone is asleep. Others describe doors slowly opening on their own or hearing soft knocking sounds from empty rooms. Sudden cold areas are often felt in hallways or near old fireplaces. One common story involves ghostly figures seen looking out of upper windows late at night. Neighbors have reported seeing lights turn on and off in abandoned or empty houses. Another story tells of former residents appearing briefly in mirrors or reflected in glass, only to disappear when someone turns around. There are also reports of old music playing softly, like piano or violin sounds, even though no instruments are present. Some homeowners say they smell strong scents of flowers, cigars, or old perfume without any source. Pets are known to react strangely, staring at corners or refusing to enter certain rooms. The quiet streets, gas lamps, and historic homes give Lafayette Square a haunting atmosphere after dark. These unique experiences and ghostly encounters have made the houses of Lafayette Square some of the most haunted residential locations in St. Louis, often featured in local ghost tours and paranormal stories. Number 14. Soldiers Memorial Military Museum. The Soldiers Memorial Military Museum in St. Louis, Missouri is a powerful and emotional place dedicated to honoring soldiers who served and sacrificed their lives. Opened in 1938, the memorial holds deep meaning for many families and veterans. Because of its strong connection to war, loss, and remembrance, many people believe the spirits of fallen soldiers still remain inside the building. Visitors and staff have reported strange and unexplained events, especially during quiet hours. Some people hear heavy footsteps echoing through the halls when no one else is present. Others report doors opening and closing on their own or feeling sudden cold chills while standing near memorial walls. A strong feeling of sadness or pressure is often felt in certain areas. One haunting story tells of a ghostly soldier seen standing near the engraved names on the walls. Witnesses say he appears to be reading the names, then slowly fades away. Another story involves the sound of marching boots and metal clinking, as if soldiers are quietly walking through the building late at night. Security guards have reported lights turning on by themselves and alarms triggering without any clear cause. Some visitors also claim to hear soft voices or whispered prayers near the remembrance displays. The quiet atmosphere, stone walls, and emotional history of the Soldiers' Memorial create a haunting presence. These unique experiences and ghostly encounters have made it one of the most haunted and respected historic buildings in St. Louis, attracting both paranormal investigators and visitors who sense something beyond the physical world. Number 15. Sheldon Concert Hall and Art Galleries. The Sheldon Concert Hall and Art Galleries in St. Louis, Missouri, is a historic music venue known for its beautiful design and rich cultural history. Built in 1912, the building has hosted countless concerts, art shows, and performances. With its old walls, quiet galleries, and long nights filled with music, many believe the spirits of the past still remain inside. Musicians and staff have reported strange experiences, especially after performances end. Some hear soft piano notes or violin sounds coming from empty rooms, even when no instruments are being played. Others report sudden cold chills while standing on stage or backstage, as if someone unseen is nearby. Doors to practice rooms have been known to open on their own. One famous story involves a ghostly musician believed to appear in the concert hall balcony. Witnesses say they see a shadowy figure sitting alone, watching rehearsals before disappearing when the lights change. Another story tells of footsteps following performers through narrow backstage corridors, stopping only when the person turns around. Art gallery workers have also experienced unusual events. Paintings have been found slightly tilted overnight, and motion sensors have been triggered when no one is inside. Some visitors say they feel dizzy or emotionally overwhelmed while viewing certain artworks, as if the space carries strong energy. The Sheldon's 1009 of music, art, and history creates a quiet but eerie atmosphere. These unique and unexplained experiences have made the Sheldon Concert Hall and Art Galleries one of the most haunted cultural landmarks in St. Louis, fascinating artists, visitors, and paranormal investigators alike. Number 16. Cahokia Mounds Museum. The Cahokia Mounds Museum near St. Louis is a mysterious and ancient place that many believe is haunted. The site was once home to a large Native American civilization that lived there over 1,000 years ago. The mounds were used for ceremonies, gatherings, and burials, and many people believe the spirits of the past still protect this sacred land. Visitors often describe strange feelings when walking near the mounds or inside the museum. Some feel sudden dizziness or a strong pressure in the air, while others report cold chills even on warm days. There are stories of people hearing soft drumming sounds or low humming noises, especially during quiet hours or near sunset. One haunting story tells of shadowy figures seen standing on top of the mounds at dawn or dusk. Witnesses say the figures appear tall and still, then slowly disappear into the air. Another story involves ghostly lights floating near the ground at night, moving silently between the mounds as if guiding unseen travelers. Museum staff have reported doors opening by themselves and security alarms going off with no clear cause. Some visitors also claim to hear footsteps following them along the paths, even when they are completely alone. Others describe vivid dreams after visiting, involving ancient ceremonies or unknown faces. The calm silence, wide open land, and deep spiritual history of Cahokia Mounds create a powerful and eerie atmosphere. These unique and unsettling experiences have made the Cahokia Mounds Museum one of the most haunted and mysterious historic sites associated with the St. Louis region, drawing curious visitors and paranormal researchers alike. Number 17. Drury Inn and Suites. Drury Inn and Suites in Creve-Coeur, St. Louis, Missouri, may appear like a modern and comfortable hotel, but many guests believe it is haunted. Built on land with a long and quiet history, the hotel has become known for strange experiences reported by visitors over the years. Because guests often stay overnight, the paranormal activity is usually experienced during late night hours. Many guests have reported waking up suddenly to unexplained noises. These include soft knocking on walls, footsteps in the hallway when no one is present, and the sound of furniture being moved in nearby rooms. Some visitors also report sudden cold air around their beds, even when the room temperature remains unchanged. One common story involves a shadowy figure seen standing near the bathroom or doorway. Guests describe waking up and briefly seeing a dark shape before it disappears. Another story tells of children's laughter heard late at night, even though no families are staying nearby. Housekeeping staff have also reported lights turning on by themselves and televisions switching channels without being touched. Some guests say they feel uneasy while staying on certain floors, describing a strong sense of being watched. Elevators have been reported to stop on floors without being selected, and doors sometimes unlock on their own. The quiet hallways, dim nighttime lighting, and repeated guest reports give Drury Inn and Suites, Creve-Coeur, an unsettling reputation. These unique and unexplained experiences have made it one of the most talked about haunted hotels in the St. Louis area, attracting curiosity from paranormal enthusiasts and travelers alike. Number 18. Ruebel Hotel. The Ruebel Hotel in St. Louis, Missouri is a historic building with a long and emotional past. Built in the late 1800s, the hotel once served travelers, workers, and families passing through the city. Over time, many people lived, worked, and even died within its walls. Because of this long history, many believe the hotel is haunted by spirits who never moved on. Guests and caretakers have reported strange experiences, especially at night. Some people hear slow footsteps walking above them when the upper floors are empty. Others report doors opening slightly on their own or hearing furniture scraping across the floor. Sudden cold chills are often felt in certain rooms without any clear reason. One well-known story involves a ghostly man often seen near the stairwell. Witnesses say he appears dressed in old-fashioned clothing and seems to be searching for something before disappearing into thin air. Another story tells of a woman's soft humming heard late at night, as if someone is singing a lullaby in an empty room. There are also reports of mirrors fogging up without moisture and lights flickering when no one is nearby. Some guests claim they wake up feeling pressure on their bed, as if someone is sitting beside them. Others say they smell old tobacco smoke or perfume suddenly, even though no one around uses them. The Ruebel Hotel's aging structure, quiet corridors, and long-forgotten stories create an eerie atmosphere. These unique and unsettling experiences have made it one of the most haunted and mysterious historic hotels in the St. Louis area. Number 19. Exorcist House. The Exorcist House on Roanoke Drive in St. Louis, Missouri, is one of the most famous and disturbing haunted locations in the city. The house became known after a real-life exorcism was performed there in the late 1940s on a young boy who was believed to be possessed. This terrifying event inspired the famous novel and movie The Exorcist, making the house legendary. People who have visited or lived near the house report a strong sense of fear and unease. Some feel sudden headaches, nausea, or extreme anxiety when standing near the property. Others say the air feels heavy, as if something unseen is watching them. Even during the daytime, the house gives off an unsettling feeling. One chilling story involves strange knocking sounds coming from inside the walls, especially at night. Witnesses claim the knocking follows them as they move. Another story tells of shadowy shapes seen in the windows, even though the house appears empty. Some neighbors report hearing low growling sounds or whispers late at night. Lights have been seen flickering inside the house with no one home, and electronic devices nearby sometimes malfunction. Many people refuse to walk past the house after dark. The dark history and disturbing stories surrounding the Exorcist House have made it one of the most feared and talked about haunted locations in St. Louis. Number 20. Old St. Louis Courthouse. The Old St. Louis Courthouse in St. Louis, Missouri is one of the city's most historic and haunted buildings. Built in the 1800s, it was the site of many important trials, including cases involving slavery, crime, and punishment. Over the years, strong emotions, such as fear, anger, and sorrow filled the courtroom halls, and many believe these emotions left spirits behind. Visitors and staff have reported strange activity inside the courthouse, especially after hours. Some hear heavy footsteps echoing through empty corridors, while others notice sudden cold spots near old courtrooms and staircases. Doors have been seen opening and closing on their own, and lights sometimes flicker without explanation. One haunting story tells of a ghostly judge seen standing near the bench late at night. Witnesses say he appears to be reading papers before slowly fading away. Another story involves the sound of a gavel striking, even when the courtroom is completely empty. Some visitors also report hearing faint voices arguing, as if a trial is still taking place. Security staff have reported alarms triggering without cause and the feeling of being watched while patrolling the building. Some people feel uneasy or emotional without knowing why. The Old St. Louis Courthouse's long history, silent courtrooms, and unresolved past give it a chilling atmosphere, making it one of the most haunted and mysterious landmarks in St. Louis.